Hello everyone, I'm Santiago and today I'm going to be testing For Honor on the Geforce GTX 750 Ti for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using cam due to easy anti-cheat, the anti-cheat software solution this game uses that doesn't allow cam's overlay, so I'll be using MSI Afterburner in the meantime. So For Honor I'll do 1080p, 900p, 720p and 1440p. To skip the end of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first for 1080p I'm going to be targeting 60 frames per second. I'll be using low settings, then I'll try to crank up the settings and see what frame rate we get. Then at 900p I'll crank up the settings a little bit, first targeting 60 frames per second, then targeting 30 just to get quality versus performance. Then at 720p it was easier to get to 60 frames per second, to target 30 frames per second too if you wanted that instead of the 60 frames per second. And finally at 1440p I used pretty much low settings in order to get 30 frames per second. It had some drops every now and then, but it was playable. So if you care about resolution and don't care about the frame rate, just play it like that. And I'm going to explain you some things that I did to get this benchmark done, why I tested this level, all that kind of stuff. Some explanations about the options menu, so you can tweak the game yourself. So first of all, I need to explain to you some things. It's about the level that I chose to play at. This is the mission, the third mission of the game, and I found this one to be very demanding. I tried pretty much all maps from multiplayer, and then I played some of the campaign and I came across this level. So in the multiplayer at the best I got like 60 to 70 frames per second. So using those settings that gave me 60 to 70 frames per second. In this level in particular it gave me 40 to 45 frames per second. Only playing this level, other single player missions didn't have this issue. So this is the worst case scenario as far as I'm concerned. So I'll show you three different configurations for the frame rate. When you see 45 frames per second, 40 to 45 frames per second in this level, I'm showing you the multiplayer 60 frames per second target. So if I'm getting 45 frames per second here, I'll be getting 60s at multiplayer. That's why I show you that. Then I'll show you the 60 frames per second all the time frame rate, which will be trying to get 60s here. That will mean over 70 frames per second on multiplayer. And finally I will target 30 frames per second, which 30 frames per second here means like 40 frames per second on multiplayer. Keep in mind that consoles run at 30 frames per second too. PlayStation 4 runs it at 1080p 30 and PS4 Pro runs it at 1440p at 30 frames per second too. So keep that in mind. And things that you should lower in order to get a better frame rate. First, dynamic shadows. If you lower them from extreme to high, you get a great FPS boost, and in this game you will always get a great FPS boost by lowering dynamic shadows. Then environmental detail, I suggest playing that on medium. It decreases the amount of grass and the sky quality, but it also uses displacement mapping on high. I suggest keeping that on medium. Then ambient occlusion, I suggest using HBAO plus if you want to have any ambient occlusion at all, since MHBAO sometimes has a lower frame rate. One other thing that you should turn off right away is dynamic reflections. Just turn it off. It's a great FPS boost, especially when it's raining. On anti-aliasing, I suggest using FXAA or SMAA. TAA works fine, but it's the biggest FPS hit from all the three options. And geometric detail, you should also lower that. It's pretty much the draw distance and the quality of the meshes. From extreme to high you won't notice much of a difference while playing the game, so I suggest lowering that too. Unless you have a very high-end GPU, don't turn on super sampling anti-aliasing, that's a huge FPS hit. And the texture quality, it seems that high is enough for 2GB video cards. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Just to sum up, this map runs much worse than multiplayer. So if I have 45 frames per second here, it means 60 on multiplayer, and I target 30, 45, which is 60 on multiplayer, and 60s on single player. Anyway guys, I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Die, Blackstone dogs! Debemos I want to talk to some of these deserters. They were members of the... We were going to have to fight our way out. You're on the same side!
Something you want to talk about?
Not yet. Vikings!
Óvinnur nálgast! Náðu þér!
They're not getting through on.
Sláðu ef þú þorir!
Get back!
This is ours! Þú deyrð innan skamms!
It was time to remove the Viking threat.
Undirbúið bardaga!
I need to defeat their commander.
Nú er þeim! Þetta tekur fljótt aftur! Sýnið honum vopnið! Bardaga óp! Ráðist á þá!
I thought Vikings were warriors.
Drífu svæðið! Horfð á mér!
I want to talk to some of these deserters. They were members. We were going to have to fight our way out.
It's you who have done this to Ashfeld!
I trusted him.
Something you want to talk about?
Not yet. Vikings!
No get to the body!
Out of Ashfeld!
Get back!
Óvinurinn þarna!
It was time to remove the Viking threat.
Mættu örgja!
Die, Blackstone dog!
Dominare eos non possumus!
Non possumus stare! I want to talk to some of these deserters. They were members. We were going to have to fight our way out.
Blackstone filth!
the Apollyon's slaves!
Aeos Impero!
You're all a disgrace! Morte mi nemico! Something you want to talk about?
Not yet. Vikings!
Futteilin on skaus! Óvinurinn nálgast!
They're not getting through us!
Get back!
Sing to father!
This is over!
It was time to remove the Viking threat.
Þetta óvinurinn! Bardagan! Yellow!
Terrible armor!
I need to defeat their commander.
Harðu hefninir með okkur! Ráðist á!